Welcome back to Webhuk. In the previous tutorial, we prepared our inventory. And now that the stock is ready, we're ready to receive inquiries and start selling. Make sure to watch the inventory video for better understanding. In this tutorial, we'll follow a complete sales workflow from the first inquiry all the way to shipping the goods and recording the payment. Here's our scenario. A company called Enquiry Retail Limited wants to buy cooking pots and frying pans from us. We'll see how to fulfill their order step by step. The first thing we do is enter the company's information into the system, because yes, we need to keep good records on our customers. So we go ahead and create a new company. At the top of the form, we choose the type. We tick customer because this company is buying from us. If you were creating a vendor, you would tick vendor instead. You can also create a distributor or a hybrid. A hybrid is a company that can be a customer, a vendor, and a distributor at the same time. The name of our customer is Enquiry Retail Limited. For the currency, since we'll be doing business with them in Ghana cedis, we select the cedi. If you want, you can also set a credit limit amount for this company. The country they're based in is Ghana. For the address, we enter Ring Road West. The city is Accra, and the state is Greater Accra. For the zip code, we use our standard zip code. And for the phone number, we enter a simple number. This is just for the tutorial. For the email, we'll use something like sales@enquiry.com. If the company has a website, you can add it too, and there's a comment field for any notes you have about this company. Then we approve and submit. Our customer is now in the system. Now that we have the company registered, we can start fulfilling their request. The flow works like this. They send us an inquiry, and from that inquiry, we'll send them a quotation. So let's say the inquiry has arrived. In real life, this can happen in many ways. The customer might message you on WhatsApp saying, "I want 50 cooking pots and 10 frying pans." They might send an email, or they might simply walk into your store and ask. However it arrives, for the sake of tracking everything, you should always enter the inquiry into the system. That's what we're doing now. We create a new inquiry. This is a sales inquiry because we are the ones selling. We select the sales company, the company we're selling to. As soon as you start typing, a Enquiry comes up, and the moment you select it, all the company's information appears. Their email, their phone number. That's very helpful in case you need to make a quick call to confirm something. We set the currency to the cedi, and we submit the form. Now we add the items to the inquiry, the SKUs the customer wants to buy. They want cooking pots, so we type cooking pot, and the aluminum cooking pot comes up. They want 20 of those, so we enter 20 and add it. They also want frying pans, the nonstick frying pan. And for that one, the quantity is 10. We add it as well. And that's really all an inquiry is, the items the customer wants, defined by our SKUs, and the quantities. It's exactly what they might send you over WhatsApp or email, item and quantity, item and quantity. You just enter it into the system this way. Before we approve the inquiry, there's some extra information worth adding. If you open the details, you can edit them. First, the date the inquiry was sent. Let's say today, so we pick today's date. Then there's the external reference number. Maybe the customer has their own system too, and they sent you a properly formatted inquiry document with its own tracking number. You can record that reference here, something like ENQ0012. That way, both sides can track the same document. It's optional, but now you know how to use it. There's one more field, the associated branch. If the inquiry was sent to one of your branches, make sure to assign the branch here. Remember, we created 2 branches earlier, the Accra head office and the Kumasi warehouse. This inquiry goes to the head office, so we select Accra head office, and we submit. Now the inquiry has a proper date and the branch it belongs to. When we're done, we approve the inquiry. With the inquiry approved, we can now generate a quotation for the customer. They're waiting for prices, after all. And here's the good part. We can go straight to generate quotation. One click, and the system generates it for us. What's really interesting is that the system has already filled in the prices for each item. You can see the unit price for the aluminum cooking pot is 93.50 sades, and the nonstick frying pan is 132 sades. Those are our selling prices, and the system calculated everything for us. You can see the subtotal right here. For shipping, you can override the amount. In our case, I'm setting it to 0. Let's say the customer is coming to pick up the goods from the store. If delivery were involved, I would calculate the shipping cost and enter the correct amount instead. Whenever you change something in these fields, just click Save and recalculate. The system updates the totals and shows you a message confirming that the information has been updated. Another important thing, while you're preparing the quotation, you can see exactly how many items you have in stock. For the aluminum cooking pot, we have 2,000 in stock and we're selling 20. For the frying pan, we also have 2,000 in stock and we're selling 10. So you know you can send this quotation safely. The stock is there to back it up. You can preview the quotation as a PDF. This is the document your customer will receive. Your company logo will be here, your business name, all your information. You don't need to open Excel or Word and build everything from scratch. These documents are fully customizable, and we customize them for you. The customer's information is filled in automatically too, taken from the company record we created earlier. You also have your terms and conditions. For example, payment 100% in advance. Any delivery information you want to add, and the validity period, which is how long this quotation remains valid. And of course, the items, descriptions, quantities, prices, and totals. Everything is here. When you're done previewing, a couple of details before approving. The branch. The quotation automatically inherits the same branch as the inquiry, so you don't need to worry about that. The system takes care of it. The date. You can open the details and choose a date, but if you leave it empty, the system will use the date the quotation was generated. Let's leave it empty and see. We submit, and we approve the quotation. And there it is. Even though we didn't choose a date, the quotation was assigned the date it was generated. Our quotation is now ready. When you view it, you'll notice one difference from the preview. It now has a quotation number generated automatically. You don't have to worry about numbering or identifying your quotations. The system handles it for you. From here, you can print it and hand it to your customer, email it, or send it on WhatsApp. That's how you go from an inquiry to a quotation and share it with your customer. Now, let's say the customer wants to proceed with the purchase. What do they send us? A purchase order. Say it arrives a day or two later. You're in the system. How do you find the right quotation so you can generate an order from it? Let me show you a few ways. First, there's the Sales Quotations panel on the dashboard, a quick panel that gives you access to your quotations. Click Show All Sales Quotations, and you'll see the list. The company name, Akojua Retail Limited, the amount, the date the quotation was generated, and the quotation key. Click the quotation, and you're right back on the document we shared with them. The second way is from the top of the dashboard, where the system records your latest activity. The last quotation you worked on was this customer's quotation, so it appears right there. One click, and you're back on it. This is how productive the application makes you. Think about the alternative. You have dozens of Excel files and Word documents on your computer, and now you need to find one specific quotation. That could take you 5-10 minutes. It might not sound like much, but add it up across many customers, and you're losing serious time. With Webhuk, your quotation is in front of you in seconds. The third way is the search bar. Type the company name, Akojua, and in the results you'll see all the documents linked to the company, including our quotation. And there's one more way, the quick search panel, where you can search companies by name, contacts, or SKUs. Search for the company. Open its page, and you'll see the quotation linked right there. Multiple paths, same result. We give you many ways to move fast. So, we found our quotation, and now we can generate the order. Here's what's important to understand. The customer sent you a purchase order, and what you're doing now is bringing that purchase order into your system so that later you can generate an invoice from it. Notice the attachments section. Whenever someone sends you a document, like this purchase order, you can attach it right here. And the purchase order probably has its own reference number on it. Just like we did with the inquiry, open the Details panel, click Modify, and enter the external reference number. You can also set the date. Then we validate. On our side, there's not much more to do. We simply approve. And now the purchase order is in our system. It's also proof that the customer accepted our quotation. Whatever prices we shared, they agreed to them and sent the purchase order. Notice that with a single click, we generated the order from our quotation. And with one more click, we can now invoice them. For invoicing, you have options. If the customer is paying in full, you generate a full invoice. If they're making a partial payment, you can generate a pro forma invoice instead. In our case, let's go with the full invoice. So we click Generate Full Invoice. Again, one click. This is the beauty of Webhuk. You move from one document to the next with a single click because the system always reuses the data you already entered. It started with your inquiry. From the inquiry data, it built the quotation. From the quotation, it built the order. And now, from the order, it's building the invoice. That's what makes the system so fast and so productive. For the invoice, all we have to do is approve it and share it. Let's approve. And we get an error. Please assign a logistics user for this invoice. If you hit this error, it's because the system wants you to manage the shipping. You see, Webhuk is designed to help you work as a team, not as individuals. You get the most out of it when you add your employees to the system so everyone can work together. When you issue an invoice, you should be getting ready to ship, and you probably have a logistics department or at least one person managing logistics. That person should be in the system too. When you generate the invoice, they're automatically informed that it's ready, so they can start preparing the shipment. You don't need to call them. You don't need to walk over to their desk. They get notified right inside Webhuk. That's why the system asks you to choose a logistics user. So we open the Details panel, scroll down to Assign To, and assign our logistics person, Godfred. There are a few other useful fields here. The shipping date. If you plan to ship next week, pick the day and add it. And the payment due date. When is the customer going to pay? Let's say in 2 weeks, so we set the due date accordingly. Setting the payment due date is really important. These days, you're busy handling a lot of customers, and it's easy to forget. But if you set the due date, the system will remind you when the payment date is approaching. It sends you reminders, so you never forget to chase your payment. And for many businesses, that matters. Customers often pay 2 weeks or a month later, so you need the system watching those dates for you. You can also set the invoice date, but as you already know, if you leave it empty, the system uses today's date. So we submit. Now the system is happy that a logistics person is taking care of the delivery, and we approve. Our invoice is approved. You can view the invoice, check that everything is correct, and then share it with the customer, by WhatsApp, by email, whatever works. And here's the thing. You didn't have to recreate any of this from scratch. When you rebuild documents by hand every time, mistakes creep in, a typo in your bank account details, wrong terms and conditions, an error in an amount or a quantity. But when everything is generated from data you already entered and verified, the margin for error is very low, practically no errors at all. The system handles it for you. So at this point, we're happy, and we share our invoice with our customer. Now let's move forward. Say a week has passed, and we're ready to ship. You, or your logistics person, come into the system. How do you find that invoice again? The same tricks apply. The invoice was the last thing you worked on, so it's right there in your recent activity at the top of the dashboard. One click and you're on it. Or use the Sales Invoices panel. Click Show All Sales Invoices, and you'll see a Casual Retail with the amount. Click it and you're back on the invoice. Or search for the company in the search bar, and the invoice shows up in the results. And even from the company's own page, you'll find everything attached. The inquiry we created, the quotation, the order, and the invoice. Everything connected to this customer in one place. So we open the invoice and click Prepare for Shipment. On this page, you can see the branch, Accra head office, where our inventory is. For each item, you can see the container and the stock. The aluminium cooking pot, 2,000 pieces in rack A1, and the nonstick frying pan, also in rack A1. And you can see the quantities we're shipping, 20 pots and 10 pans. You can also record everything about the shipment here. The shipping mode, maybe it's local delivery, maybe the customer is picking it up. In our case, let's choose local. You can add tracking notes, choose a shipping carrier and agent, and even print labels to stick on the items you're shipping. Fill these in according to how you manage your shipping. When we're happy, we can mark the invoice as shipped. But before we do, I want you to pay attention to something. Let's open the inventory in another tab and look at these items. The aluminium cooking pot, 2,000 in stock. The nonstick frying pan, 2,000 in stock. Now, what do we expect to happen when we mark the invoice as shipped? We're taking 20 cooking pots and 10 frying pans out of the stock. So we expect the inventory to go down. So let's mark it as shipped. Now we go back to the inventory. It still shows 2,000 and 2,000, and we refresh. And there it is, 1,980 cooking pots and 1,990 frying pans. Our stock was updated the moment we clicked shipped. The system keeps your inventory in sync automatically. I hope you can see how valuable that is. One last step. A few weeks later, the customer decides to pay. We open the invoice and click Add New Payment. The date of the payment, let's choose today. The method is a bank transfer. For the account, we select Fidelity Bank. The status will be approved, and we submit the payment. Our invoice is now paid, and that's the complete journey. As you've seen, we went from receiving an inquiry, to sending a quotation, to recording the purchase order, to invoicing, shipping, and finally recording the payment, with essentially one click at each step. That's the power of Webhuk. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.